Yay Networks.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm Emily.
And I'm Laura.
And this is Cheers to That Shit. Here we are, sitting gorgeously.
And I can't cross and uncross my legs.
We have
Today.
stories for you and then an actual podcast episode that we'll share. But I feel like, Laura, you should go for how's your life? What's happening? Tell us.
Yes, life is great. I'm living the dream. I brought just, all the good vibes today. I dislocated my kneecap.
Mm-hmm. How? Tell the lovely people how this happened. What were you doing?
Well, I don't have a good, I did it story.
No, I know.
I was sitting on the floor.
Crisscross
applesauce, talking to my son, and my other son was throwing a tennis ball for my dog, and she literally ran headfirst into my knee and dislocated my kneecap. It was like down on my shin, which is really pretty.
Gorgeous.
It was really weird. Anywho, long story. I had to go to the emergency room. I had to be sedated to straighten my leg out because apparently a dislocated kneecap is a pretty legitimate thing, and they don't even attempt to straighten your leg or put it back out unless you're sedated. So that's been my life. I had it immobilized in a brace for a couple weeks, and I need an MRI to see if I'm going to have surgery. And it's great.
So I get a call from Laura, and it was like a Saturday, which we talk pretty much every day anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where my phone was. So I was like, okay, hold on. I gotta
I
answered on my watch. She was trying to FaceTime me.
FaceTime.
Yeah. So I was like, I answered on my watch, and she was like, hold on, I need you to FaceTime me. And I was like, okay, well, hold on. I gotta find my phone.
Well, you were
now.
like, why? I was like, because I need to see your face when I tell you this.
And so I was like, okay, shit, I know something's happened. So let me find my phone. So I went and found my phone. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And I could see she was sitting on the floor. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And she goes, okay, so something happened. But she was smiling like, you're never going to believe this shit. So my first thought was Dom had a heart attack.
What?
I swear, I was like,
I'm smiling. You're never going to believe this shit.
That was my first thought. When you're like, I need to see your reaction. Like, you need to face it. I was like, Dom had a heart attack. Something's happened. And I was like, no, why would you be smiling over Dom having a heart? Well, some days it depends.
I'm not that heartless.
Depends on the day, I guess. But I was like, something happened to the kids, probably Anthony. And I was like, what's happened to Anthony?
Yeah.
And then Laura's like, so I think I dislocated my knee. And I was like, wait, what? And she told me the whole story that Lulu ran right into her kneecap.
Yeah.
And then Dom is texting me pictures of you while you're in the emergency room.
Yeah.
And he's like, so her kneecap's on her shin. And I'm like, yeah, that's
which I didn't know that could happen.
Not supposed to be there. Oh yeah, it can float all the way down to your ankle.
Yeah.
Real cute.
Yeah.
So
anywho,
but because of that, you weren't able to go to the wedding.
No. Oh my God. I was so sad about that.
As you should have been.
We had a friend, a vendor friend who was getting married, and I crack up about this because obviously I couldn't go. You wanted me to go, but it was literally the day after it happened. And
it was not the day after.
It was 2 days.
No, it wasn't. It was like 5.
No.
Yes.
Well,
it happened on Saturday. We had to leave on Wednesday.
Still, I don't think either of us understood the severity of what happened and how immobilized I had to be, and trying to.
No, I know. But me being selfish, I was like, I don't want
drive on a 5-hour trip, hobble around the hotel with crutches, in and out. It would never have worked. Never had worked.
It was my first Indian wedding that I'd ever been to. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you guys, what?
I was just going to say the thing. So I got to live it all on Instagram stories because.
Well, and I was sending you pictures. I didn't want to overwhelm you.
But the Instagram that they had created, everybody was posting on there. So I was watching all of that, and it cracked me up because we had these conversations prior about what do we wear? Do we need to wear Indian, cultural attire? And he kept saying, no, it's not a big deal. My whole family's Westernized. Nobody cares, whatever. But every story that I looked at was like, everybody, all the women were wearing saris, all of the guys were wearing traditional clothing, and all the ceremonies and the rituals and the events. I was like, wow, that was very Indian.
Well, they're
very Hindu,
Westernized Indian. So like it was, but like it was probably one of the top. I know. I'm trying to find. It was probably the top wedding I've ever been to. It was absolutely amazing. Ryan probably saw me eat the most food that I ever eat. And he's like, are you eating? Are you going to that station? I'm like, I'm eating everything.
Yeah, I'll have one of everything, please.
I'm getting everything to eat because they're very like big into vegetarians. Like they don't eat a lot of meat, which is I am. So I was like, this is going to be fantastic. I'm fucking eating everything. They had stations at everything. At the Barat, they had stations. At the wedding for lunch, they had stations. They had, I was just like, yeah. And he was like, well, I'm going to save room for dinner. And I was like, I mean, I'm going to eat dinner as well.
Right.
But I'm also going to eat.
Right.
I'm going to all 5 of these stations.
Oh my gosh.
So I do have a funny story though from it because you brought up the saris. So at the actual wedding day,
right,
they really pushed for Indian formal wear, which is a sari and like a very formal sari, I need to bring that back to you.
He didn't lead us to believe that it was going to be like that,
but
right?
thank God you did that.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there.
We
in my
actually
room.
had saris to wear.
Yeah. I'm sitting there in the room trying to get it on, watching YouTube videos. And I'm like, this isn't going to happen for me. It's not going to happen. So Ryan's like, well, I need to get the lint roller. So he goes downstairs and everyone's already downstairs.
Summons someone up to help you.
And the groom is down there. And so Ryan bumps into him and he's like, oh my God, dude, you look amazing. Like, cause I mean, it was head to toe stunner.
Yeah. His little, whatever that was,
all
his headpiece
was fantastic.
Yeah.
So he was like, how's everything going? Are y'all having a good time so far? And Ryan was like, yeah, well, Emily's just upstairs watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out how to get the sari done. And he was like, well, does she need someone to help? And he was like, well, let me ask, but probably. So he was being super nice, which he is extremely all the time.
Nice, very accommodating.
Was just like, well, I mean, if Emily needs help, you let me know and I'll send someone up to help. So Ryan comes up, tells me this, and I'm like on the phone, like, yeah, I need help. SOS. So he's like, okay. So then his sister calls me. And his sister's like, hey, this is so-and-so's sister. You need help? And I said, yes. And she goes, okay, perfect. Give me 1 second. I'm going to find somebody and then I'll let you know. Yeah. So I said, okay. She calls me back. She goes, go to room, whatever. They're going to help you. By the way, it's the bridal suite. And I was like, fantastic. Love this for myself. At this point, I had like the petticoat on under and the top on and the attempt of the wrap of the sari and the rest of it bunched in my hands. So I'm half naked. I think it's called a
pula.
I don't care what it is. I'm half naked. Walking down the hall, all these older Indian women are walking by me and I'm like, yes, I know. I get it. Thank you.
I'm American.
I am white as white. I apologize. I'm so sorry. So I get to the bridal suite and I knock. And then I panically knock and no one's answering. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm standing here half naked. So I text her. I was like, hey, so no one's answering the door. She goes, oh my God, give me 1 second. So they all come in. And then the bride comes in and I'm like, I hate my life. This is the worst moment I've ever been involved in. This is what we would talk
about on an episode about don't fucking go to the bride suite.
I didn't know it was a bridal. Anyway, so they were all so nice. Yeah. And the girl that was helping me, she was like, so is this a traditional sari? And I looked at her and I was like, please don't ask me these questions.
It is a borrowed sari. That's what it is.
I have never done this, nor will I ever do this again. She's like, do you know how you want it wrapped? And I was like, oh my God, I just hate it here. And she was like, do you like how mine's thrown over? And I was like, I trust you.
Right. You do it how you
do
think.
what you feel like needs to be done.
Right.
Do you have any pins? Call my mom. Just call my mom.
By the way,
I had all the pins.
I had all the pins. I should have given them to you.
It's okay. I was like, no, I don't. And she was like, okay, no worries. Anyway, so she does it. Fantastic job. But it was just and then one of his uncles took us under his wing. I was like showing us and explaining everything. It was truly a fucking experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great.
It looked amazing. And I really hate that I missed it. But I also know looking at everything, I would have been having a pity party for myself about how much I couldn't do or participate. So, I mean, all in all, I think that I made the best decision, but I wish I could have experienced it.
I know. We'll just have to find another cultural wedding.
Yeah, we'll have to make friends with somebody else.
Yeah.
But.
No, it was great. But that's not why we're here today.
No, but it's good. That's a good wedding story, though.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I didn't know all that, so.
I know. Well, I didn't want to tell you too much because I didn't want to make you
rub my face in it.
Yeah.
Hey, look at what I did.
You loser. So today, what we are going to be actually talking about for the rest of the episode is pretty spicy.
Yeah.
Pretty juicy. Yeah. Could get a little
hurt feelings.
Yep. But that's what we're here to do. Now, not only do we feel like we are wedding professionals and know how to give advice on that. But now we're giving relationship advice. And we are going to be talking today about what to do if you do not like your friend's partner, fiance, or significant other.
Yeah.
Because we are professionals.
Yeah. And don't act like you don't have one of those situations, because everybody does.
Oh yeah. No, we all have people we
It's
don't
like when you're in it's like when you're in a relationship and you break up and then all your friends are like, "Oh, thank God I did not like that person. Hated him, hated her, whatever." It's like, dude, why didn't you tell me that?
Like, I can't, what am I going to say while you're dating them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about a couple different things, a few different things. But the first thing we're going to talk about, which I think needs to be addressed first,
Mhm.
is that just because you don't like them,
Mhm.
don't assume that they aren't good for your friend.
Oh, 100%.
It is not your job.
Well,
You
I mean,
say
they
this all the
chose
time.
them.
Right. You loser. You
No, I mean,
idiot.
you're okay. Let's just say it was you in your relationship. Like, you chose your partner. So
Right.
obviously you think,
Well,
good.
yes. I mean, but like,
But you get what I'm saying.
There are
Yeah.
exes that I'm like, probably
Well, that's
shouldn't
why
have
they're
done that.
exes. Yeah.
Correct. But
Yep.
you say this all the time, that it's not your job to like everyone. It's your job to like yourself.
Yeah. It's not your job to like me. That's an inside job.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do not have to click with your friend's partner.
It's okay if you
It's
don't.
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. But what you need to do is make sure that your friend is happy. That's
Yes.
the key. If that person is good for your friend, you
Then
need
they'll
to
be
let it be.
Yeah, they'll be happy. They will
Yes.
be happy.
And that's,
if you're the one that's unhappy, then that's a you problem.
yeah. And there's a couple different reasons that you may not like them. Maybe
Right.
they remind you of part of you that you don't like about yourself.
Mhm.
We all have those moments where
Mhm.
we're like, I don't like that I do this. And then you see someone and they do it
Mhm.
and you're
Yeah.
like, I don't like you, but it's because you bring out that side of me that I don't
You have
like.
the same things that I don't like about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
that
get
might be one of the reasons. You might be jealous of their time together.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's taking away from
that
you.
totally happens. All of
Yeah.
a sudden they're spending time with this other person, and that time with you is cut. That, I think, is probably one of the biggest things when you first start
Yes.
seeing someone.
But also, and I know you have a story about this, is when your friends start dating somebody else,
Mhm.
just because you don't like them or because you wouldn't date them, again, doesn't mean that they aren't good for your friend.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I was sort of thinking about what you were saying too. You don't just you don't have to like you don't have to not like them. Maybe you're just not really friendly with them.
Yeah, you
'Cause
just haven't clicked.
I have a couple stories, like, as we get into that as well. But yeah, my late sister's husband, we really didn't get along that
Yeah.
great. We didn't have anything in common, and um I didn't like the way that he treated her. I didn't like the way their relationship was going, and I don't think he was doing anything bad.
Yeah.
It just was just one of those things I just didn't like, and not only did I not like it, but it took my sister away from me of when I wanted to do things. And
Yeah.
she would always say, "Well, I need to check with, my husband, I need to check with it." I'm like, "Why? Why?
Fuck him.
Like, you're my sister. I'm not asking you to, it's not like a girlfriend. You're asking to go away on a girls trip.
Yeah.
It's like my sister."
Yeah.
So there
Like,
was,
I should be above him as your sister.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't need to ask, like, I'm going to go see my sister. Maybe you do need to kind of say, "Hey, can I go on this girls trip with these girlfriends?"
Right.
But I don't know. It was just,
It was,
it was just an uncomfortable dynamic. And he worked for me for a little while too, after
after she passed?
my sister passed
Okay,
away.
yeah.
And that was, again, I think,
Well,
just
that was
part.
tumultuous.
Yeah, and I think it was just part of, me wanting to make sure, grieving my sister, and
Yeah. Well, and she had two
she had
kids.
children and stuff. So
Yeah.
there was a whole bigger picture to that situation. But one thing that my mom said to me early on when I started expressing how I felt was, "He's not your husband, and it's not your life. It's
Yeah.
not your marriage. And if you want to have and maintain a relationship with your sister, then you just need to push that away,
Yeah.
push it
Did you
aside."
ever say anything to Kathy about it?
Um, Probably in a very passive aggressive kind of way.
You? Passive
Me,
aggressive?
passive aggressive,
No.
never.
No.
That's a terrible quality. We need to work on that. Let's not accentuate that. I'm sure I was just like, "Why do you need to ask him?" Or, he
Yeah.
doesn't control, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So I'm sure that I probably did never sat down and had a conversation with her like, these are the things I don't like about
Yeah.
your husband or whatever. But or how he's raising your children. And I don't know. No, to answer your question, we never did, but it was really what my mom said to me that stuck with me. And we've talked about this before
we have.
about when we were talking about the whole in-law things
Yeah.
and how you love your family as much as he loves his
Yep.
family, even though the in-law is
Yep.
complicated. So that was a big deal for me when she was like, if you want to maintain a relationship, have a relationship with your sister, you need to forget about that because that's her husband, her marriage. She likes it. She's happy. He treats her. She's fine with the way he's treating her, which wasn't bad.
Right.
It was just their way. And
You kind of
after
have
that,
to-
it was easier for me to just, you know what I did? I started focusing on my relationship with my sister and not focusing on what I didn't like about her husband.
Love that. Yeah.
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 Made a big difference.
Yeah. So it can be very daunting at first when all you can do, because we're, as humans, we do tend to unfortunately focus on the negative over the positive. But I feel like once you
Kneecap.
as you break through and can kind of see, okay, I'm not going to talk about this right now. I'm not going to continue to dwell on me not
Mhm.
liking this person.
Mhm.
I'm going to focus on what I do like.
Mhm.
You can kind of move forward.
Yeah, it's a mindset. You just have to shift your mindset
Yeah.
and, and your energy, and then that everything good will follow.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk about people that we don't like, because it's almost every single person, because that's what we do here. Okay, we're back.
Okay, we are back. Barely, but we're back.
Here we are. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is if there are actual issues besides you just not liking him for no reason.
Right. Red flags for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you see any type of abuse happening, which abuse comes in all forms.
Yeah.
It's not just physical abuse.
No, it could be verbal,
emotional.
Mhm.
You do need to say something. You do need to maybe advocate, yes, because your friend may not realize
most
that
people who
that's
are
what's happening
in some sort of abusive relationship and don't recognize it do need to be
told.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my first boyfriend when I was only 15. So take it with whatever you want to.
Crush.
No, I mean, well, we dated for like over a year.
Really?
In high school. Yes. In high school.
And in high school at 15?
Yes.
Wow, I am so out of touch.
No, I was in 7th grade for like 8 years. Yes, you're in high school and
I
you're
just
15.
I forget. My kids are older.
Because you're driving at 16, you're a junior.
Oh, I guess so. Wow. Okay.
Anyway, so my parents hated this guy. And it wasn't until he was like, I don't want you wearing makeup. I don't like it.
What?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'm a 15-year-old girl.
I'm sure
that's all I'm into.
I'm sure that went over very well with you.
You're right. So I was like, all right. So I went over to a friend's house and I was like, oh my God, well, he doesn't like when I wear makeup. He is going to get mad. And she was like, oh my God, whatever. Like, we'll do like a little bit because we used to do each other's makeup. So she did my makeup a little bit. And then I went to go see him. And the first thing he said was like, is that mascara? And that is in my head when it clicked. And I was like, why the fuck does this bother you?
Yeah.
Like, why is this an issue?
Well, I mean, obviously he has something going on.
He was I lost a lot of friends in that relationship.
Yeah.
And then when we broke up, it was like, he still was trying to he would text me and let me know if he slept with somebody.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. And so I was like, ugh, I don't
Total
care.
high school.
But it was just like, why don't you want me to wear makeup? Like, what a weird thing.
When you have someone telling you to change yourself and what you need to do differently, I think that's a red flag in general, because I mean, a lot of girls think they can change guys, and it's like WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So if it's not abusive, obviously, and it's something you're just like think you're gonna stop wearing makeup, whatever, you're gonna have to deal with that. It does lead to bigger issues, but you need to, if you're a friend and you see that happening, I think you really need to advocate for your friend and speak up.
So I have a story.
So do I.
Oh, fun. With one of my friends. And asked her and made sure that I could share the story because I didn't want to, be rude or whatever. But one of my friends, she has another friend,
Mhm.
and throughout her and this guy's relationship, she's always kind of like complained and things have always been a little off. Like they would get in these huge fights, and the next day he would go on Facebook and comment and like post about how much he loved her and what the light of his life she is and how amazing she is
After a fight.
after a fight, after he had done something wrong.
Yeah.
So then he proposed and she said yes. And so throughout their engagement, it was just very emotional, but like
Mhm.
negative emotional.
Mhm.
So, and they don't communicate very well. And she is like also admitted they have a child together. She's also admitted that if it wasn't for their child, they would not be together.
Terrible reason to try to keep a relationship together.
Absolutely agree.
Whole nother podcast.
Because the person that suffers is the kid.
Well, that, and if you have issues and you can't get along as two people, bringing a third person into the situation is just going to make it more complicated.
Is a big no.
Yeah.
So, that's part of it. But, it was, I hope I'm telling this story correctly. It was after they went dress shopping.
Mhm.
She had a huge breakdown, cried, was so unhappy. And she was like, well, maybe it's just because none of the dresses fit or whatever. So she straight up asked, what, like, do you want to do this? Are you happy? Do you want to be getting married? It's not too late. We can stop this. I can help you. I can get you
her
out of
girlfriend
this.
said that.
Yeah, her girlfriend said that.
Because
My friend said that to her girlfriend.
Oh, okay, because she wasn't finding the dress. Sorry, I'm thinking it was the partner.
No. My friend said this to the girlfriend and was like,
she saw her struggling so hard at the dress fittings,
and she was like, this isn't about size. This isn't about the dress.
Right.
This is about more than this.
Right. You're having a realization as you're looking at yourself in a dress in a mirror, and every dress is causing the same
reaction. So she was like, no, I'm fine. And she let it be, never said anything else again. But other comments have continued to be made. You can see the physical wear on this girl who's gone through this. I will say he's an amazing father. Like he loves their kid hard.
They're still together?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they went through the marriage, everything. She got pregnant young. She was like 17 or 18.
Oh, wow.
And the little girl's now.
How long have they been together? Been married?
I mean, been married?
Yeah.
Maybe a year or two.
Oh, okay.
But they've been together the whole time.
So they've been toughing it out, working, whatever.
Yeah.
Getting by.
And the thing is, I don't know if he knows that she's just been getting by.
You think he's all in? Committed all in?
Why would you propose to someone if you weren't?
Well, there's 100 reasons.
But
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so do you think he's happy and he's content? And
well, here's the other
do you think
thing.
It's a mutual between the two of them?
Neither of their families like the other one, and they don't like any of their families.
Oh.
Like she likes her family. He likes his family, but his family
they
don't
could
like her,
just be tolerating each other.
I think that
she's tolerating him.
Yes. And I think he found a golden prize that he has now refused to let go of.
Right. Wow, that is unfortunate. Because
and my point of this is when you have somebody in your life that is being talked down to or told that they're a bad mom, because that's a constant thing, because she works more than he does. She's the breadwinner.
Yeah, but I mean, he is talking down to her and not treating her well.
Yes, like she's the breadwinner, and he talks down to her, and he makes her feel less than, even though she's literally supporting this family. And when you have that is verbal and emotional abuse,
absolutely,
regardless of if it's physical. There are different kinds of abuse, and I'm so happy that we're in a society now that we are talking about this.
It's a little more, I hate to even say the word acceptable, but it's a little more acceptable to bring it up and to talk about it. It's not a taboo thing anymore.
Right. It's like, no, this is happening and you need help. I want to help you. Here I am.
Yeah.
But
it's too bad that she couldn't be honest with herself, because having a child so young at that age and only being married for like a year, what's going to happen when she turns 30 and hits some of those milestones in life where you actually start I don't want to say evaluating your life, but you start
Yeah.
looking back and thinking, what was my 20s like?
Yeah.
It's,
It's
I
one of
mean, my other sister was in a similar situation. She was married. She's no longer married to him anymore. She has a second husband now who's great, but her first was, they got married young, right out of high school. My parent, obviously my sister's older than me. And so this was a while ago. My parents were very conservative and they just
Yeah.
did not want her getting married that young. Even while she was still in college, they wanted her to finish because she was going to get it.
She's
a
a nurse, right?
nursing
Yeah.
degree. And so they wanted her to finish that. So they didn't really approve of that to begin with. I think they liked him at the time, and I think he was fine at the time, but he became verbally and emotional abusive over time. And
Yeah.
he had his own issues. I mean, he had drug and alcohol problems, and eventually those became breaking points for my
Yeah.
sister. And so they separated and divorced after that. But it's sad that it took it to get to that point. But my
Yeah.
parents were super supportive of her and helped her through all of that because she didn't want it to end. But they're like, he has to fix himself.
Yeah.
And he was taking all of that emotional and verbal component out on her. So
I think that brings up a good point of the whole reason to bring this topic up is, if you see something, you need to say something.
right.
You need to say like, "Hey, I see this happening to you. I see this going on and I can see that you're not happy. I'm here.
Right.
I'm here for you regardless."
Right.
Once you bring it up though, you cannot continue to harp on it and it should not affect your
Relationship with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the words. Yeah, but like you can't allow
You have
it
to say your piece.
and then but like you can't allow it to be like a hindrance for you and
Mhm.
your friendship moving
Mhm.
forward. You cannot control their decisions. You can
Mhm.
control yourself, and that is it.
That's it. Yeah.
So bring it to their attention. Let them know, hey, this isn't a normal situation. Like
Right.
people don't act like this.
Right.
This
I
is
mean,
not
because
how
they
people
may
treat
not
other
even really
people.
be aware.
Right.
They may be repeating something that they saw in their own life growing
Yes.
up. Maybe something that was exhibited by their own parents. So sometimes people aren't even aware. But even if they are, like your friend,
They may not know that it's a thing. They may not know that that's a wrong.
right. They might think it's, this is just part
This
of
is
getting married.
Yeah, this is everyone's
Yeah, or
relationship.
they just may not even be aware
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So
definitely bring it to their attention, let them know, but do it in a very sensitive way because you don't want to make it feel like you're lecturing them or looking down
Mhm.
on them. Like, hey, I'm here for you. I have your back. Whatever
Right.
decision you choose to make,
Right. You'll
I'm
support
here for
them.
you.
Yeah.
I support it, but I just want you to be aware of this.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's true. You have to say your piece and then you kind of have to put your feelings to bed. Like I had to do with my sister because, at that point I wanted a relationship with my sister.
Yeah.
So I had to do that.
All right, we're going to take another break and then we're going to come back.
We're so serious.
I know. But I feel like it's a serious topic.
It is kind of a serious
Well, that
topic.
one was. I mean, we're talking about
Yeah.
abuse, so it's serious. But we're going to come back. And yes, we'll be back.
And we're back.
Here we are. Okay.
This episode is like full of stories.
Well,
who knew we had all these stories?
I mean, I don't like people, so I knew. I don't like anyone.
I didn't realize I didn't like people until we started talking.
I don't like anyone. I don't like anybody. So it's very easy for me to say, listen, I got this friend. I got this friend.
Yeah.
I got this friend.
Yeah.
I got this friend.
Well, I have a story. It's not really about not liking somebody. It's
you're like, I have another story. Let me throw it in here.
Well, no, I mean, you bring up the you're like, oh, I don't like anybody, so that's easy. But I have my college bestie. When we were all in college, we were all best friends, and me and two other girls, and we just got along. We met our husbands in college and we all got married and we had this great relationship. It was like the six of us and we visited each other all the time. We all lived in different states and it was a lot of fun. But then she and her husband got divorced and now she is remarried, but she lives in another state. And so we really haven't had an opportunity to get to know her new husband. And he's a super awesome guy. I've met him a couple of times, but it's just, It's that trying to get to know that other person. He's
Yeah.
not bad for her. I mean, he's amazing and she loves him and he loves her. So it's nothing like what we've been talking about, like anything bad or
Yeah.
abusive or not treating
It's just
somebody
like
well.
you
It's
haven't
just that,
clicked yet.
yeah, we just haven't gotten a chance to really know each other. We've had a few opportunities,
Yeah.
but just not enough. And so
Yeah.
when I've gone to visit her, it's just a little, awkward. But we were talking on the break about maybe that's when you offer up a girls' trip.
Yeah.
So if you and your girlfriends and the husbands or the partner
Yeah.
dynamic isn't quite there, maybe just the girls
Yeah.
continue to forge that relationship and not harp so much on as couples.
Yeah. Okay, so that reminds me of a story we got in. It was really short, so I was like, we can't share this on a stories episode because there just wasn't a lot. But it was Sarah from New Mexico shared this story about. So her and a group of friends used to always go on these couple trips, and everyone got along except for her husband. Like
Odd
everyone
man out.
everyone did not like him.
Yeah.
Everyone. Like it was just, and it was
There's
obvious.
a common denominator there.
Yeah. Like it was obvious. Like the husbands didn't like him. None of her friends liked him. They were, and she was like, or the girl that wrote in was like, there's nothing wrong with the guy. He's nice.
Yeah.
But
It
he
just
just
didn't click.
doesn't fit into the
Yeah, they
friend
weren't
group.
clicking.
He's
It
like,
happens.
he's super, super country and like really very like self-centered. And he doesn't mean to do it in a bad way, but
Yeah.
he just isn't.
Yeah. I mean, there's just some people that just aren't meant to be
Don't.
friends.
So on their last couples trip, I think she said there were like 4 or 5 of them, like the couples on their last trip. She pulled her friend aside and was like, "Hey, this has been super fun. I think the next trip, maybe we do just a girls trip."
Yeah. That's exactly what I was just talking about.
Yeah, because her husband was like, "I'm not fucking doing this shit again."
Like all the guys are like,
No.
girls, y'all do a girls trip because we're not getting
because like all the girls would get together and then
Yeah.
all the husbands would get together and then it'd be like all the husbands and this one fucking guy no one likes
Yeah.
and they'd be like, no, fuck this dude.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you have to recognize that and just take it for what it is, honestly.
Right.
And I've even talked about that with my girlfriends about how we need a girls trip. We
Yeah.
need a girls trip because
and there's nothing wrong. It's not, it's like we said in the beginning of this, it's not your job to like every single person.
right.
And
Right.
it depends on your relationship with that friend. If you want to really be honest with them and say, hey, listen, I love you and we've been through life together. You mean so much to me, but like, I just don't click with your guy. Like I don't
Yeah.
click with your partner and it's nothing wrong, whatever. But if you go that route, then you need to be ready for their response.
Right.
Because
100%.
they might take that personally
That you don't like them.
right. Or
Yeah.
you don't like who they've chosen to be their
Right.
life partner.
Right.
And if you do that, you have to respect their
Yeah.
decision. You may lose them as a friend.
Yeah.
So trying to set those boundaries,
Yeah.
trying to set
And that's-
that one-on-one time
Yeah.
might be it could be a better route than just straight up saying like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like him
Yeah.
or her, whoever they are. I don't like them.
Mhm.
Not for
Yeah.
me. I love you though.
Yeah.
But
And
like, I don't want to be around them anymore.
And for me, in my case, it's not about not liking.
Yeah.
It's like they live 5 states away.
Yeah.
I just haven't had an opportunity
To
forge
you
a
grew up with this
relationship.
other guy.
Yeah. So it's
Nothing wrong
But
with.
I still would like just a girls trip so we
Yeah.
can get back to like our good old college
Yeah.
days, But
Like we were saying before the break, you brought up, I think, saying like once you've said your piece,
oh yeah.
it has to be done.
Yeah.
You cannot harp on it.
Well,
you cannot continue to bring it up.
You're going to do nothing but drive a wedge between you and your friend
Yeah.
because they don't want you to get in their face all
Well,
the
like
time.
you're nagging, you're
Yeah,
complaining.
and you're going to make yourself miserable.
Yes. It's just not fun to be
Yeah.
around. And again, like I said, if you want to say something, say it and then be done. Really prioritize that one-on-one, that personal time together. Be able to be aware of that. I do have another actual personal story.
Well, can I just interject something?
100%.
So this just kind of, it makes me think and go back to kind of when you get married to your significant other, you don't give up being an individual person.
No.
So just because you're with somebody else doesn't mean, oh, now you as a couple have to do things with me as a couple.
Right.
Whether you like them, whether you don't like them,
Right.
you can still do things. You can still be an individual person and do
Yes.
things individually.
Yes.
And
it
doesn't
doesn't
even
even
have to have
I think that's
anything
healthier.
to do.
Like
Absolutely.
continuing to have your life.
I know.
Oh my God.
The egg.
My knee ache. Continuing to have your life.
That's healthy, actually.
Yes.
And that could do wonders for your relationship.
Yes. I say all the time. So I've talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
I have 2 friends that I used to work with, and they are both moms now. And we weren't super, like, we were close in like the work sense that we saw each other at work.
Mhm.
But then after we all quit,
Mhm.
we were like, hey, I actually like
Still
you.
wanna get
and
together
I want
with
to
you.
get together still.
Yeah.
So we now, I mean, like, they are 2 of my best friends. I
Yeah.
love them very dearly. And it's nice to have that camaraderie of
Sometimes
like
you don't realize that until you're not
forced
working with them
to,
anymore, because
yeah.
sometimes you think somebody's your friend, but when you leave that workspace, you
Yeah.
realize, oh, it was work that we
Yeah.
had in common.
But no,
I
it
just
was very much like we got together. It was me and one of the girls, and then we were like,
yeah, I
we
actually
need
like you.
X to be involved in this. Like, we
Yeah.
need our little trifecta to
Yeah.
be here.
That's great.
So, but it's nice to have that equality of like, you're going through this stage in your life, I'm also going through
Yeah.
it, and you're
You
also
need
going
people
through
to
it.
bitch to and vent to.
Yes. So it's nice to have that, and not saying that our husbands don't get along. They're
Yeah.
fine, but like, we've never brought our
You need an
husbands really
outlet.
into the dynamic.
Yeah.
It's our thing.
Yeah, you need an
Which is
outlet.
healthy to do.
It is. I just
And if
wish
you have a partner that isn't supportive of that, that might be a red flag.
Yeah.
If they don't want to share you, if they don't want to do whatever. Anyway, so the story I was going to share is my best friend, and I hope to God she's fine with me sharing this because I didn't ask her before. And I'm so sorry if you're not. I won't say names.
Just that she's your best friend.
Love her to death.
So just
God bless. I have 7,000 best friends. So
stalk
like,
your Instagram and then you'll know who it is.
best of luck. And it's private, so good luck with that. She and her
partner.
ex-husband.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's that. So good luck. Easy find. Before they got married, her and I try to see each other once a year because she is in a different state than I do.
Yeah.
And we try to get together. And before they got married, when they were engaged, obviously, we saw each other throughout her engagement like 2 or 3 times.
Mhm.
And each time we saw each other, they always fought. Oh yeah, it was 3 times and they always fought. Always fucking fought. Like, what the fuck?
It was you and the 2 of them, or you?
No. Me and her were fine. It was her and her fiance that always fought when they were, and he was the one that would start it.
Okay.
Always. So I went to go see her, dress trying on. We did the whole like, yay, maid of honor, I'm here for you. They fought. And I was like, why is he doing this? So I said something to her mom.
Mhm.
I was like, is this normal? Like, this isn't how people should treat each other. Why is this a thing? And she was like, you just have to let it be. This is them. And I was like, I don't feel like it really should be. So then she came to visit me and they fought the whole time. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, we never see each other. This is the most we've seen each other in years
Right.
because we live in different time zones. Like,
Right.
that's how many states away we live.
Yeah.
We live in different time zones. Why the fuck is this happening?
Right.
Well, on the very last night of her being here, which is the eve of her birthday, it just so happened he dropped a bomb about infidelity that happened in the beginning of their relationship.
Oh.
And that's why he'd been treating her like shit.
So you just didn't want to be with her anymore.
Well, no, he did. But he was like, why? Like, you're not answering. It was just like he was projecting
Oh, yeah.
onto her
Yeah.
what he had done. And so it was just back and forth, back
Oh,
and forth.
so okay. So he wasn't still with this person.
No.
Oh,
it
it was
happened,
just like
it had
a
happened in the very, very, very,
Oh,
very
okay.
beginning of their relationship.
Okay. So it was like a
And they had been
one-time
together
kind of thing.
Yes. And she was
Yeah.
like, why the fuck would you even tell me that?
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck would
Yeah.
you even,
Why would
at
you
that
say
point,
that now?
why would you even say that?
Yeah, because if you want to stay with the person and you're going to be with them, and
They,
you're going
they
to,
were engaged.
yeah, you're going to move past it.
Why the fuck would you bring it up now?
Yeah.
Like, you just had to get your guilt and shove it down my throat like a selfish
Yeah, to make
fuck.
himself feel better.
Mm-hmm. So
That's what therapy's for.
right. So it got to a point where I was like, listen, this is how I feel. These are my opinions. I love you and I support you in whatever decision you choose to make. It's not up to what anyone else thinks. This is your life. You need to do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here for it. And I will be there for you until the fucking end. So whatever you choose to do, that's it. Here's what I think.
Right. You have a supporter in me.
Yeah. And I pretty much said then that you guys can take this motherfucking advice to the grave. I said, if you choose to stay with him, you need to forgive and forget. Don't
Right.
ever bring that shit up
Well,
ever the
yeah,
fuck
because
again.
you know what? That's just baggage you're dragging around for the rest of your life.
So that was something that happened. And then fourth, we just set boundaries.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, but that's
that's
good.
Yeah.
That's healthy.
I had to set boundaries.
Yeah.
I was like, I know what he's done to you for the past few years. You know what? I love you. I support you. Boundaries.
Mhm.
However, I threw her a bomb ass divorce party. So
yeah,
whatever episode that comes into play,
yeah,
I can give great advice on that.
But I mean, the boundaries thing is good advice because they need to make their choice. You're putting out there how you feel, and then you need to set clear boundaries of how you're going to maintain your relationship.
Just in life in general with setting boundaries. But I think every friendship needs certain boundaries.
Yeah,
and
I agree. 100%.
Especially when it comes to partners and dynamics, you just have to be very confident with who you are and what you can take on.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure.
All right, guys.
Wow, what a story-filled episode.
It really was.
It very
unintentional, but
it was very unintentional because I didn't realize I knew a bunch of people who had people I didn't like.
I don't fucking like any of you bitches. So now what? Yeah. So, moral of the story is like, it doesn't matter if you don't like your people's friends. Live life.
That's right.
Live life.
Happiness is an inside job.
Oh, all right. So if you guys have any stories about not liking people's friends, about dealing with friend partner drama, send it to stories@cheerstothatshit.com. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Cheers to That Shit Podcast, and on YouTube at Cheers to That Shit. Shit is S!T podcast.
Yeah.
Watch, subscribe, like, comment, but.
I haven't watched any of our YouTubes in a while, so
I've never have I ever.
Watch us on YouTube. It'll be fun.
I feel like you'd get a little bit more of a personality. I just cannot stand looking at my own face.
And our hand gestures. We do a lot of
I feel like we
hand
could
things.
swim
We could
miles.
from here to California. Well, I guess you can't swim from here to California.
Well, you could.
Maybe
It'd be
Europe.
a really long trip around.
It'd be hard. It'd be dry. Whatever. Who cares?
Okay, guys, next week.